I wanted to do a quick video on the AFR 500 V2. The instructions are not super clear, so I wanted to show how to calibrate it. I actually called them and they even kind of admitted that their instructions aren't great. So this is how to properly calibrate it if you're a little bit confused. So we plug it in, wire it in, however you want to do it. I'm using a DeWalt battery, which is which is not the right way, but for our purposes it'll work. So we let this thing count down. I'm gonna pause it so you don't have to watch that. Okay, so with the sensor plugged in, the first thing you want to do is plug the sensor in free air. Do not be around an exhaust, don't be around anything but just free air. And let it heat sink for as long as possible. I was told an hour is great, 15 minutes is acceptable, but basically the longer the better. You don't want to have any type of exhaust run across a cold sensor. So once that has been done, just unplug everything. I'm not going to unplug it, but just unplug everything, let it cool all the way down, replug it back in. You'll get the countdown, and then when you have one of these air high, or like if it shows 20, or sometimes it'll show air low like that, what you want to do is just turn the knob until it says cal. All right, so that's caled, and at this point you can just put it in a O2 sensor socket and start the vehicle. Now, as far as recalibration, he told me that it really doesn't need to be recalibrated unless you suspect that a drift has happened. He said kind of general good rule of thumb is like once every year. But as long as you don't bump this little knob on the back, this guy, then there's no reason to recalibrate it unless you just suspect that something is way off. So if we were to put this in a vehicle right now, we would just unplug it, make sure not to touch the O2 sensor because it's got a heater in it and it does get very hot. Screw it in, make sure you have a solid ground and power wire, and plug it in, let it get hot, and then you can start your truck or car or whatever you're working on. And as long as you don't suspect anything being off, as long as you have the initial cal dash, there's no need to recalibrate it. There's no need to do anything except run the vehicle. All right, hope that helps somebody.